Marianah Lourens met Kuns en Vermaak. Yes, Marianah Lourens here with art and entertainment. And I'm so excited today because I'm interviewing a very special person in my life, but also special in many other people's lives. I am interviewing Robert Lourens. So Robert, you are my husband.
Yes.
And you were nominated for the Isakhona Awards. And that's something special because I always say there can only be one winner and all the nominees are actually runners-up because they could all have been winners. So it's just that when there are many people, then of course everyone can't win. Now I first want to ask you, what is Isakhona?
The Mandela Bay Theatre Complex Isakhona Awards is very different to any other award. All the other awards are you win something because you are the best at something. But the Isakhona Awards is a performing arts business support incentive. So it is very different in that you are invited to put forward proposals. And it only goes to very prominent producers, actors, dancers. You are then given the opportunity, if you do get the award, you are given a cash incentive to produce a production on a 50-50 basis with the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex. It is an opportunity to do something bigger or different or to reach more people or to touch more people. And the award can only be given to you once. You cannot get it a second time. So it's a once-off. It's there to help people grow in the performing arts and do something different, which they would not be able to do if they didn't get that award.
So it's quite special then if you win in your category, then you take people further in that category of yours that you've applied for, say, that if you're a dancer and you won the dancing one, then you take your troupe and produce a production and then split the profit. You pray and hope that there's a profit with the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex, but just being able to have some cash because we know how expensive it is to just produce a show.
Yes, it's very expensive. Firstly, the award is an acknowledgement that you're doing something within your area of expertise, whether it's community, whether it's theatre, whether it's dance.
Before we go any further, can you tell me which category you were nominated in?
It was the Theatre Awards, but I also was nominated for the dance and musical side as well.
You have been a director and producer of other shows in the past.
That's right.
And where you were also nominated for some awards, but you won awards, not only for getting people to perform, but for a script writing contest that was a few years ago now. I can't even remember. Can you remember how long ago it was?
I can't remember. You can go to my Facebook. You'll see it there. Yes, I won for script writing, and previous to that, I won many awards in technical excellence for various shows.
Yeah, because for the script writing one, I remember we had to go to Cape Town and the finals were there. And what was it called?
That was called The Road, which was also performed at the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex.
Your play. It was actually a play, not a musical.
No, this was the first time that I'm looking at going into musicals. It's a new venture. I always like to challenge myself. I hate sitting and doing the same thing over and over again. So I get a bee in my bonnet and then I decide to try something new. Like The Road was to try and create a play in the smallest acting space I could find, which was a motor vehicle. And we got that right.
And it was all about the conversation that was going on in this vehicle.
In the vehicle,
yes.
In the apartheid era. And the whole concept of the play was how people misconstrue, and that if only we talk to each other, we realize that we're actually all the same and we all got problems, but they're not insurmountable.
Indeed. Now, to go back even further, before I even met you some 40 years ago, when you were involved very much in national theatre and you were not involved with script writing or performing or anything like that, you were a techie, and you're my techie today. So you were doing also stage management.
I've stage managed, stage directed, lighting designer, lighting operator, sound operator, helped with set building, props, and I've worked for the Performing Arts Council of the Transvaal. That's just going back many, many years. I've worked with Leicester Theatre in Swaziland, Baxter Theatre, and I've worked with the performing arts. I've worked with all the different groups, whether it was English, Afrikaans drama, we worked in opera, we worked in ballet. I have worked with some of the biggest names, well, I can't say the biggest names, but big names in the industry.
Well, I can remember some big names like Richard Lourens, which people don't probably even know, but they can go Google it. Yeah. Richard Lourens, Jodie Wayne, there was Patrick Maynard.
I toured with, and Simon Swindell.
Yes, Simon Swindell. Many people who became great names in our country on the performing arts arena, which is always a difficult place to be.
But today we have new names. When we mention all these names, most of them are not remembered.
Because it's new generations who weren't there. New generation
and new fantastic actors and directors which have come out. I think we are in a good place in the performing arts industry. Our television has created artists and given work to many people. The physical performing arts still struggles because finances are tight, and that is the biggest problem for people to access finance. There's no lack of actors, there's no lack of script writers, there's no lack of directors or anything or ideas. It's purely cash to put it on.
Yes, because you need the cash, and out there are people who are making movies now with their cell phones. We know Ruan Boyson, who encourages people to come and act for him on his cell phone movies. He won't pay them. He says, I don't promise you a salary, but I give you the opportunity to be seen. We want to put people in the spotlight.
Yes, one of the awards which for me is the greatest part of it is the Community Arts Development Award, which went to Stack Sprite. That reaches out to a lot of people. There they are in the middle of nowhere. And what he's going to do with the award is not just for Stagspruit. He wants to create all the communities in the whole area and try and help them. This award is something which has got a ripple effect in all the areas.
Absolutely, because Stagspruit, I found out, is about 800 kilometers away from PE. And it just thrills me to know that the awards go that far to encourage people to come and submit and be part of this choosing of talent, because there's 7 categories.
So it's your theatre fellow, your woman in arts, there's a jazz fellow, dance and musical, community development, arts research and writing, which is quite interesting, and artists living with disabilities. The Mandela Bay Theatre Complex is doing a fantastic job in creating work for artists and trying to educate people and take it further than just the confines of Mandela Bay. They've taken it into the Eastern Cape, which is not necessarily their mandate, but they feel that people in Umtata and Stagspruit and these should be included in and brought into the community so that we can cross-pollinate ideas, cross-pollinate concepts.
Yes, because we had some winners from East London. Sonwa was the director of Shrek. He did such a good job of that show that it came to us, and it was wonderful to have him here win this award, and now he can go back, and he's at the moment in Belgium. And it takes people all over the world. In fact, in Stagspruit, being 800 kilometers away, is just a stone's throw away compared to Belgium. And we've had people from Germany coming to help our talent here, and from the UK, from Holland, where they've been connected with the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex, which of course is a huge feather in the cap for the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex, and it's just exciting. Where are you going with this talent of yours that is so versatile because you've done so many things?
The first thing is I'm just honored to be amongst these names like Kabiso and Heidi Sampson and Sonwa and Leletu, and it's actually daunting when you see I'm in this company of this lot. Going forward, we've got a couple of plans in the pipeline, and hopefully we'll have a production on the stage soon.
I hope so, because the theatre is actually under renovation, and hopefully we'll be able to watch it at the venue
It's going to be good. I'm working on a production which is going to be a brand new musical dance production. Hopefully we get it up and running.
Let's hold our breath until we hear where it is or see on Facebook, because Facebook is still, I think you were surprised when I told you that I found out that Facebook was the biggest percentage in social media for exposure.
Yeah, they have about 3 billion viewers. YouTube second at about 2.5. So you need to be there. All my productions are on Facebook under their own names. I am available on Facebook under Robert Lourens.
And that's Lourens without a W, Lourens.
Ja, soos in Frans of Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Of Hollands.
So thank you so much, my dear husband.
Yeah.
God, we can tell you lots of stories.
Yeah, we can spend all day here.
We can spend all day here. So thank you so much. And I just want to say how proud I am of my husband for being nominated for this prestigious award, and people are striving to get it. Thank you so much, and looking forward to what we're going to see at the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you very much.
And to our next guest now, I actually have got two very interesting people. I have one Isakhona award winner. They call him a fellow, but you are a fellow anyway without the award as well. And it's Edgar Muza. Other one next to him is Cairncross. And it just so happened that we figured out a few weeks ago that I knew his dad because his dad was a school principal where I was doing my youth leadership programs with Toastmasters. Oh. Yes, I'm a Toastmaster.
Thank you for the welcome.
Well, the thing is, it's so nice to have you, and it was so nice to meet you then, because Cairncross, I have come across a few, and some of them are your cousins.
More than likely.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I also know that you're a techie okie in a way, so I'm going to ask you to tell me, because when I met you here, and even now, I don't know what you exactly do for Mandela Bay Theatre Complex, because we are here at the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex.
Thank you for the welcome again. Like you said, my name is Cairncross. I'm the graphic designer for Mandela Bay Theatre Complex. I help with the generation of content for social media, as well as all our letterheads, business cards, and email signatures. Everything you see that comes out of MBTC, I have a role to play in that.
So you like the chief cook and bottle washer?
I wouldn't say so. I feel like it's a well-functioning kitchen.
In a kitchen nogal. Yeah, okay. That's good, because a man after my own heart. I always say my dad used to cook, my grandpa cooked, my husband cooks. It's excellent when you have a guy who can cook. Now, Edgar, I see here, you actually connect so well with a person like Kent, because I saw artist, I saw musician, I saw bass player. That's all about that bass. I love the bass. Yeah. So you'll be my favorite person in the band.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. And I see composer, songwriter, arranger, and of course then you were nominated for the Isakhona Awards, and then you won.
Yes,
and so,
what an honor.
Yeah, what an honor. Was it for your music?
Yes. So basically...
Oh, I see, jazz fellow.
Jazz fellow.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's an upgrade for me being a jazz fellow, because I believe I do music of the world, which is world music. It's a cousin as to jazz. So being a jazz fellow, that's really a big thing for me. It's really an honor, because a lot of people, or maybe the people that got the award before me, they're really giants in the jazz fraternity, if I should put it that way. So it's such an honor for me to be recognized in such a way. Yeah.
Okay, so how did you get to do music? I mean, you don't get out of bed when you're 2 years old and say, I want to be a muso.
Look, for me, music has always been a calling. It's very spiritual for me. I've always known that I would end up doing music. I did a lot of things growing up, like any other child. You know, you want to try different things. I'm a former sportsman as well. Played soccer competitively till like semi-pro. But I always knew that music was where my calling was. So I don't know. It just found a way to worm back in my life, and I left everything else that I was doing, an engineering background as well, electrical engineering background.
Which helps so much.
Yeah.
Because you can help quite techie.
Yeah, it does help. It just opens up your mind, you know. So I've done all those things, but only to find myself back in music because it has always been part of me. It's a calling.
Because lots of people, when they're singers or musicians, and I say, how did you get here? And they all say, oh, my grandma dragged me to the Sunday school choir.
Yeah.
So because you're saying spiritual, it
Yeah.
sounds like very much when you were little,
Yes.
as if that could have happened to you.
So I guess maybe my grandmother or grandfather had a role to play in that because maybe they imparted that in me. Because
Are
obviously
they also
I don't know.
like to sing or?
I don't know much about them, my great-grandparents, but you know, I believe that somewhere along my
Family
lineage or
line,
family
yeah.
tree,
Yeah.
there has to be someone that was in music.
But at what age did you realize that music, because look, you were doing sport obviously in school already.
Yeah, I always had a thing for music from a very early age, but started being actively in it probably when I was like 9 years old. That's
Yeah.
when I picked up my first instrument,
Which one?
which was the mbira.
The mbira.
Yeah,
Okay.
I picked that up when I was
I've got a
9.
friend, Ivantia Chawara.
Oh yes.
You know her?
She plays mbira as well and
Young friend,
sings.
one of my young friends. Yes, she plays
She's really
imbira.
amazing.
Because it's from
Zimbabwe. Yes.
from Zim. Do you know about the imbira?
I don't. It's the first time I'm actually hearing
Well,
about it.
now you're going to find out because you're curious. So what about you, King? Tell me now, where did what begin for you and what exactly do you?
Okay.
Does it entail all the stuff you quickly rambled off earlier on?
Yeah, so I'm an artist by trade. When I was at school, I went to all the art classes, extramural art. So even when I finished matric, then I went to go and study fine art. Then I actually did, you touch on everything in your first year with arts, graphic design, sculpture, illustration, things like that. Then second year I moved on and did fine art, the illustration, sculpture and glass for some reason.
Okay, so it's also versatile and design was a big
Yeah,
thing.
and then I eventually majored in glass, but then when I was in school, I actually taught myself how to use the design programs myself. You can learn anything nowadays. on YouTube.
Nowadays you can.
And
yeah.
because it's such a technical skill, the more you do it, you just get better at it. So I taught myself how to do graphic design, and that's where most of the arty kind of jobs are. It's your graphic design, your marketing, and social media and stuff like that. That's where I am today, and that's how I got you. Also, share a love for music as well. I'm a drummer myself.
Okay.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's-
So you know where to
amazing.
find him. If,
Yeah.
You know, if you need one.
And that started in the
A graphic
church.
designing drama.
And that started,
all art.
started in church. Was the
Also
church.
played semi-pro soccer
Oh yeah.
for Castle League.
Oh wow.
Now listen to these
That's
two.
great. What position did you play?
Left wing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I was right.
I played
Oh, is
hockey.
it? What'd you play?
I
Sorry.
was a wing.
You're
Playing
a wing?
hockey.
Is it? That's why
Yes. It was
it's a
many
wing
years
thing.
ago. I'm
Yeah.
talking about late 50s, early 60s.
Well, I don't think my parents had even thought of having me then.
Oh yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But now I must also say here that the sound effects you hear, it's just because this is a busy place. I'm just telling the listener out there, if you hear footsteps and stuff like that, it's just because this is quite a busy center. Kent, I'm now looking at you. What is your thing for the future? Well, where do you see yourself? Because we're in 24 now, and what are you going to, because last year was quite a year
Yeah.
for everyone. I'm not even going to say good or bad. It was just quite a year for everyone.
I think for myself, I just have to constantly keep learning, especially with the introduction of AI coming into the art space. You actually have to use these tools now to help with your design work, with your advertising, especially with your social media. There's a lot more now that graphic designers need to be, as opposed to just someone who can make a poster or something. You have to understand analytics and do video, web design, all of those crazy things. So for me, we just have to keep learning.
You still young, may I ask how old you are?
You may ask, yeah?
Tell me.
I'm 30.
You're 30, so you've still got a lot to learn. And don't let AI become the artist.
No.
Please remain the artist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because AI is inclined to, then your art becomes AI and it's not you anymore.
Yeah.
So just be careful there. Now, you say yes, Edgar. You agree with that?
Yeah, I think we're living in a very scary period, if I should say.
Yeah.
Because like what he was saying, AI is generating stuff. You just don't know what the future holds for actual humans as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it helps a lot, I guess, to make things easier. But it also has a lot of uncertainty. Because you even have AI writing music now. So basically everyone can be be a musician. Everyone can be a songwriter, because
That's exactly
you
my
have an
point.
app on your phone or whatever,
Don't let AI take over, Edgar.
Yeah.
Remain, Edgar. Let your talent stand. Our time is actually up. But I want to also say from me, both of you guys have spiritual background and it's in you, and we trust God for a good 2024. We can look forward to more. Can I say watch the space, Edgar?
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to see some shows.
Shows, new music.
Yes, come and see the band, jazz band. I don't know. And of course, you obviously eclectic. You said it's very, it includes
it's music of the world. Yeah, it's
music of the world. So thank you so much for coming, Edgar. And Kent, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for putting me on the show.
It's just a wonderful thing that we can look forward to the rest of it. I must say goodbye now.
Okay.
So it's bye-bye from me, Marianah Lourens, and Art and Entertainment, Marianah Lourens, wat nou groet met Kuns en Vermaak en Arrivari.